video, I'll be explaining and demonstrating my Mips assembly program. The purpose of this program is to prompt the user to enter integer values between 0 and 100. The inputs will continue until the user enter -1, and once -1 is entered, the program compute and display the average of all valid values have been entered. And this is my code. This is the data sections where I have my prom, error prom, average prom. Here's my string variables I can use later on to output prom for user. Let's begin with the read integer subroutine, which is right here. This part of the code prints a prompt message asking the user to enter a number. Use system call for to print a string, and system call 5 to read an integer from the user. So this print the prompt asking the user to enter the value from 0 and 100 or enter -1 to get the sum. And this is where I get the user input and store it in T0 register. And after that, I do input check, where I first set the lower bound of the input into uh, register T6, which is -1, and the upper bound of the user input, which is 100, into T7 register. And then I'll do input validations. I compare um, T0 with T6, which is -1, and the user input. If the inputs go out of bound, it will instantly go to input checks subroutine, where it will print the error prompt, which is this: please enter a valid value from 0 to 1 or -1. And the same if it's go out of the upper bound, it will go to the input check. So it print the error prompt and then loop back into the read integer subroutine until the user enter the correct or valid inputs. And then we're back to the main loop, where I repeatedly call the read integer subroutine using JL functions. If the input is -1, we branch to the n label, which is here, where I do the outputting for the average value. Or otherwise, um, we add the value into sum, which is stored in T2, and the counter, which is stored in T3, to track how many valid number has been entered. And then the average subroutine, first I do zero division check. Like, let's say for the first iteration of the loop, if the user enter -1 immediately, it will store uh it it will run into this avoid error subroutine, and will instantly add 1 into T3 to prevent zero division. If not, it will go to this line division, divide T2 by an counter T3, and the quotient is stored in the low register. And then I will use this line to move the answer from the load register to the register T5. Finally, in the end sections, I call the average subroutine, print a message saying average, which is right here. And then we run the code and demonstrate it step by using Mips simulator. Um, I'll run the code line by line so y'all can see the change in the register value. Print the prompt, some okay. do 2, I mean 20, and then it will move the user input into T 0, as you can see right here. T 0 will be store 20, which is 14 in hexadecimal, and then it will add immediate to check the range. And check the range. It go back here, and then it add to the sum and accumulating the counter. And it go back to loop, call the read end functions, call the prom. Okay. If I enter a wrong, an invalid input, like -20, what it does, it store -20 into T0. So here, as you can see, this is in hexadecimal, and then it will check the range here, input check. It will instantly go into the input check label, which is right here, and it print the error prompt here, and then loop back into read integer and make the user input the correct input. Let's say 10, and then it will be the same for every loop, so it's just gonna run the whole code. So 30, and then 40, so check out bound, and then I do -1 to get the average. As you can see, why I enter inputs, the register is updating as I step through the program, and it's outputting the correct average value. That will be the end of my presentations. Thank you for listening.